Hello, hello, hello. So excited. Hi. So I am back with another YouTube and Facebook Live. So this is going to be so good. I am here with Coach Missy Moreno. Um, and I'm so happy to have you here. I know people are going to be coming on and people are going to be watching this later. But just to let you know a little bit about Missy, and then I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself as well. Um, Missy is one of my sisters in Lightworkers Universe, and I am so excited to be here with her. Um, it's just been beautiful. We're both a part of this community that was started by her name is Bird, who was on my YouTube live, I think like a year or two ago, and then we had a connection. We met on Clubhouse, and so she invited me to this community, and Missy is part of this community, and we'll talk a little bit about it because we're going to be doing a workshop leading up to this. YouTube live is going to be leading up to a workshop that we're going to be doing on Lightworkers Universe on the same topic, but we're going to be giving you little things that you could do. Now, Coach Missy works with relationships and so many different things with dance. I'm going to let you talk. I'm going to let you introduce yourself because I think you know nobody can introduce you better than you can. I am going to preface this with last night or yesterday. Missy was great to me. I had to call her and I was like, "Oh my God, I read your bio and I need to talk to you because I like relationship stuff." And she was so great. She was so great. And yes, even myself, who am a tantric therapist and a sex and relationship coach, do have my struggles with relationships. It is a part of life. So everything is a process. And I think it's good when you have someone who can hear you and can, talk back to you and give you feedback or something. So it's awesome. So, Missy, go ahead and introduce yourself. I am just going to get off, give you this screen, and I'm going to go ahead and invite people on here while you're doing that. But I'll be able to.
Great.
All
Awesome.
right.
Thank you. Yes, I'm so excited to be here. I just want to say thank you, Prandhara Prem, for having me on your show and for reaching out. I love to talk about all things spiritual, love, and life, and Tantra. So I'm so excited to be connecting here today. So, yes, my background is in fitness and wellness. And I, got thrown onto the spiritual path again and again, time and time again, from a loss and grief. Each time it was painful. I lost a parent, two parents, a husband, to divorce and breakups, and then friendships. And even with COVID, I lost my whole fitness career, basically, right? I was teaching all these fitness classes. I lost my gym family, my family that would take my classes. And so, yeah, learning how to accept. So I'm going to start right in with the teaching right now. She's like, I'm ready. Acceptance is key. So through all my trials and tribulations, I had the tools. And that's what was so helpful to me when shit hit the fan. Like, I knew what to do first, especially the breakup of 10 plus years. I was like right in this pivotal moment of like getting licensed as a spiritual practitioner. So I had spiritual support. I had, family support and friends. And so I was in the training. So it was like, okay, what do you do to feel good right away? Like, I want to heal. Once I knew it was over, I'm like, okay, let's heal. How do we heal? We accept it, right? We accept what is. And once you can accept the bigger picture, everything happens for a divine reason, everything happens for a bigger purpose, then it's easier to kind of let go and take your hands off of what you think should happen, you want to happen. And so from there, you can move forward and start to heal. But I'll hand it back to you if there's anything else you want to say. I know I was just supposed to introduce myself. But.
No, that was awesome. That was awesome. Those who are coming on, say hello. Let us know you're here. We're going to be talking about relationships. We're going to be talking about it's all about you. If you've had relationship difficulties, say I feel you. Type I feel you. Okay. If your relationships have all been perfect, say I'm good. Okay. Type that in the chat. Let us know you're here. Let us know where you're at. And Missy, are you free? You look like you're frozen. Oh, there you go. Came back. Okay. So I like that you said you had everything was already within you, right? And that's the thing. A lot of times, so many of us have issues, whether it's relationship issues, issues in work, in your career, relationships in terms of friends and family or anyone else. Like everything, we have everything that we need to know. We have everything that we need, right, to work on our stuff. So sometimes we just kind of need an extra support. Sometimes we need, whether it's a friend, a therapist, or coach, or just going in and doing our work, like our meditation, our yoga, to really find the resources that's within us to help us,
Yeah.
in this journey.
Well, I like that you kept it real earlier, and you said, even I'm a Tantra therapist and I still need help too. Same for me. Coaches need coaches too. I work with a coach all the time because I'm initiating my growth. And then that's my point about kind of loss and grief and life when it hits the fan. It's like, I want to be the one initiating my growth. So that means taking classes, doing the spiritual practices, reading spiritual works, because I want to know how to move through this life with ease and grace. Whereas some of us will hide, deny, push away, spiritual bypass, because it's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable to look at our shadow. It's uncomfortable to look at the truth if our relationship isn't working. And you're like, I'm just gonna pretend it's okay because it's familiar and it's comfortable and it's gonna be harder to break up and move out and divorce and whatever, right? But if you do that, then you have to learn the hard lessons. Then you have to learn the hard way. And that sometimes, and I'm not wishing this on anybody, so this has just been my experience: car accident, theft, like really bad breakup, waiting till it got so bad that it was like, ugh, somebody cheating in the relationship, just waiting so long for things to get nasty enough to make change. I had to lose my mom before I could get back on the spiritual path, And so I don't want to wait till things get bad to change direction and to take care of myself anymore. Right. And so that's why I say I initiate my own growth. I really look for the opportunities to choose something better. And that's why I'm a coach. That's why I meet with people like you. We connect. I get enlightened just by having conversations with you. So
yes. That's interesting, because that's what enlightenment is all about, right? A lot of times we think, oh, enlightenment, to get to enlightenment, we have to do all of this stuff and we're going to get to this place. No, I mean, every day we can get little bits of enlightenment, right? Just from different things, different activities, different conversations, different connections. And so it's interesting. One of the things that I've had to learn, what I've had to work on, I've had so many relationship issues, and it's always like, oh, the other person. When you're younger, you're like, oh, it's the other person. He did this, he did that, and then it gets to the point where it's like, no, I need to look at me. What's going on within me? What is it that I need to change? I heard a saying. I don't remember who said it, but he said, or she said, the person said, if you're getting something like, if you're getting the same results, if you're doing the same thing and you're getting the same results, that's the definition of insanity, right? And then there was also another one kind of similar to that, where it's like, if you're doing the same thing and the same thing and you're getting the same results, that's not working for you, do something different, right? So and I might be mixing the two up, but like the definition of insanity is I got it. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. So I mixed the two together. So, and that was one of my biggest struggles, right? I kept doing the same thing over and over and over. I kept meeting the same type of guy, like the same pattern. And it's like, okay, then you get to the realization that, okay, why are you choosing the men? Or women? Why are you choosing this person? Yeah. What is it that they're supposed to be teaching you, or even the ones before them, that you haven't learned? You haven't learned that lesson. So what is that lesson? And so it comes to the point where it's like, okay, I need to do the work so I can see these lessons and I could stop doing these behaviors. I could stop attracting the same people. Or, so it's like, so this is why this is the title. It's about you. Because it is. We can't change anyone. Ourselves.
Yes. I love that you shared that. I believe Albert Einstein said something close to that, right? You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. And when I meet with people, and even clients, I'm not trying to change them or tell them what to do. I'm always just like, no judgment. How is the way you're running in your world working for you? Is it working to keep dating the same dude? Is it working to keep hiding your truth and just going along with whatever you think makes you the good girl or whatever? So, like I said, after my breakup, I was smack dab in the middle of spiritual studies. So I'm looking for the healing already. So I was able to identify those patterns right away. The first big eye opener was, I was like, oh my God, I married my father because I married a dude with a temper. But I didn't realize he had a temper until, gosh, how do I not gossip? Okay. Things changed in the relationship that allowed me to see another side of him. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, how did I get here? This is just like my dad. And so then I realized, oh my gosh, maybe I have codependency issues, right? So now I'm seeing the patterns. So now I'm like, well, I better heal this stuff before I try to date again. I better heal also my pattern of dating guys for so many years and then jumping right into the next one, never being single for more than a couple months. So yeah, identify those patterns, right? So I had to accept myself. I had to forgive, not only my partner, but my role in what was going on. And so again, that's looking at the patterns. It's looking at why I was even there to heal that stuff, right? To heal that relationship, even with my father, though he'd been gone, over 15 years. So it's a lot. It's a lot to look at.
And it's so interesting how on a subconscious level, our body, our subconsciousness, we choose someone who's just like our parent. Not knowing.
Yeah.
The blinders are on, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm in love with this person. This person is great. And then eventually, as the blinders start to come off, you're like, wait a minute. I know this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah. And that's the universe saying, okay, you got to look at this. You got to look at this. You got to see this, and you got to heal this. You got to resolve this.
And so for me in that moment, it was so painful that I was looking because I was in class, but I was also like, hell no, I'm not doing this again. I'm doing relationships different. So that's why I took 7 months off before I was even like considering dating. I went to Brazil, your hometown, and I did the work. I sat in meditation. I did the prayers. I did the crystal healing. I did all the things they told me to do, and really went inward and tried to clear that stuff out. And then took about 8 months before I actually went on a date. And wow. And then once you're dating and in relationship, then you can just look at, okay, you can see how far you come. But then other things still pop up. You're like, ooh, still need to work on that. Ooh.
Right. Yes. So, guys who are watching, if any of you have had blinders on when you entered in a relationship and you saw that later, you saw that connection, how it was one of your parents, let us know. Type yes. I understand this. I resonate with this. Yes. Let us know. Those of you who've been watching me for a while, you know that I like to have this interactive. You know that I like to see who's on, who's listening, who's here behind the scenes. So let me know you're here. Let me know you're talking. If you have questions, now is the time to ask the questions because we are here. We're here to even provide any answers to any questions that you might have about relationships, about what you might need to change to have better relationships or to improve your life. So this is a great opportunity as you have two experts here, right here that could give you information. So don't be shy. Just like Coach Missy said, no judgment zone. Neither one of us, in this work. I mean, especially when you work with sexuality relationships. And Missy does far more than just that. When you're working in this field of helping people, it's like we don't have these judgments. It's right. It's like, okay, let's do the work. Let's see you. How many times can people really be seen without being judged, without made to feel less than or horrible, or so this is a good opportunity to be able to connect and share and get feedback from some experts today. So, there was something I wanted to touch bases on that you had said earlier. I don't remember now, but it may come back to me. It was something that you had said, and I wanted to like comment on that. But okay, but we'll go back to that. It'll probably come to me later. Again, folks, as you're coming on, say hello. Let us know here. Let us know you're here. If you have trouble focusing on you, let us know. I'm actually going to share something else. It's interesting because I don't share too much on my personal life, but today I am. So, it's interesting because I've been doing this work on myself, and and I guess I'm talking about myself because it's about you, right? So it's like I'm sharing about me so you can help to understand and maybe you can relate and see this in you. But one of the things that I've always done, right, is in addition to running the same patterns, it was always really hard for me to feel my emotions, to connect with my emotions. And I always thought there was something wrong. Like, why can't I, why don't I understand what I'm feeling? Why, and before I started working with Tantra, I was a psychotherapist and I did a great job with helping other people. And I would tell them what they need to do. But there was something within me that I couldn't. And then I ended up doing a numerology reading. And the numerology reading, she gave me 3 numbers: my life path number, my expression number, and my karmic lessons. And one of the things that she talked about, like, with you, one of your challenges, and I've had a couple different readings. I've had a life path reading as well with our other sister from
Miss Krishan.
That said similar thing to this numerology reading that I had, that one of my struggles is connecting to my emotions, right? One of my struggles, which is also a good part, is I need to be in movement, right? So it talked about how I'm constantly needing to change things and move. And this is why relationships, like, I can't be in one relationship for a long time. I can't sit still. I got to go. I got to travel. I got to do different things. And it's so true because, like, if you look at my life as an adult, I lived in a DC area and I moved like 6 or 7 times.
Wow.
Brazil, when I lived in Salvador, Bahia for like 4 years, I moved like 6 times. Now I'm living in Rio de Janeiro for 5 years and I've moved like 6 times. And so it's like, so this is one of my patterns. And so sometimes I bring all of this up to say, sometimes these things are innate within us based on our birth chart and all of these different things. So that doesn't mean that it can't change, but it also goes to show you that this is what you're coming into this world to work on, right? And that's why that's another reason why I feel like as a child, before a child, right? Our soul chooses what parents, what family, where we're going to be born for the life lessons. And we're born on this certain date, because of our soul, the universe, God, whatever it is that you believe. And we're born on this date, and it's all there. It tells us all of these things, right? And so now you have these lessons to learn, and most of us come from family relationships that are difficult because no one was taught how to be a parent. No one was taught how to be in a relationship. We weren't given the tools and the techniques and the support to have and raise a healthy, stable family. We weren't given all of these tools and the support to have amazing relationships. So most people challenge in these areas, have difficulties and challenges in these areas.
I love that you bring that up because that's part of the first step that I do with clients is that releasing phase. How do you let go? How do you move on? How do you get the lesson? And I think knowledge is key, right? So knowing your patterns, knowing that, yeah, this is kind of stamped on my birth chart, that this is my dharma, this is my lesson, or maybe you already know like your purpose. Then it's like, we can have many different purposes to be here, but you like have a clue of like, okay, this is why I'm here. This is what I'm here to do, learn. And then you can accept it. Then you just accept where you're at. Okay, now I can see why I've been in this shit for so long. Okay, get curious. How do I change this? I'm ready for something new. Like, okay, I get the lesson. So now I'm just going to read every book on codependency, or I'm going to read every book on, nonviolent communication, like whatever that is for you. That's what's helped me so much. That's why I do multiple readings too. I'm an emotional projector. I've had my human design done. I know my sun sign, my rising. The reading with Krishan. I did the reading with Krishan. And so I know all about my birth chart. And now I'm getting into Gene Keys, because Gene Keys to me is like a whole nother level, where it just really opens up and kind of applies what's going on with you as a single person and the grand scheme of things, and how we're evolving as humanity. So I like that you brought that up. We can just accept what is and know what is ours to work on, and then evolve.
Yes. And that's important. Like, we have to stop saying, blaming other people, right? Like taking responsibility of, because a lot of times as well, we're choosing these relationships, whether we know it or not. We're choosing these people that's in our lives that we keep dating, that's difficult, because we have to do the work on ourselves. And I think the most important thing is getting to the point where you love yourself completely and fully. See your self-worth, you see your value, the value that you have in yourself, so that you can stop choosing people who are not deserving of you, so that you can start to attract, because we do attract where we are, right? A lot of times people are our mirror, and so, and it's a hard fact to face, right? And I had posted something today that said, it's scratched out with, it says be, and then it's scratched out with someone you're happy to be with, right? And it was like, yes. I mean, so, and you had talked about this yesterday too, Missy, like writing that list of all of the things you want in your partner, but then looking at, okay, am I doing this for myself? And so we have to really look at that.
Yeah. Do I match up to that list?
Yes.
Absolutely. So clarity is key too, right? You got to know what you want. I had to date to know what I didn't want. I never got on an app. That wasn't for me back in 2017. But I found the right people to what does Marianne Williamson say? She's like, we're all just a bunch of people with rough edges, bumping up against each other's rough edges. But in this process of interacting and bumping up against each other, we're smoothing each other out. We're polishing the stone, right? The gem, the crystal. And so it's like, I bumped up against a lot of people who weren't too bad, like my triggers and my patterns weren't so bad. So they were kind of gentle lessons, so I really learned where I was clinging, craving, and what's the other one? It's very Buddhist. They talked about it. And it was also divine timing. What was that?
Attachment?
Yeah. Clinging, craving, and it's probably attachment. There's another word.
Buddhism, they talk a lot about attachment.
Yeah. So that was the thing. Like, I'm trying to make things happen. And it's so interesting that I broke up with this dude, or he broke up with me at the end of the year. And then boom, that New Year's Eve, we went to a Buddhist New Year's celebration, and we got to read about that. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I was doing. I was craving this fantasy of what I wanted in this partnership, and it was not meant to be. But my intuition was telling me the whole time, this is not right. So that's another thing. Listen to the signs, listen to your inner guide, because it was always like something's off. And then finally, when he did break up with me, he checked back in. So how do you feel about that? Are you okay with that? Like, we run in the same circles. Like, we needed a clean breakup,
Yeah.
And he checks in. I'm like, actually, it never feels good to get broken up with. I was like, it feels like a kick to the gut. And then I was like, but I feel so free. I was like, I feel so much better, because it was constantly misalignment. And I actually felt better after just clearing it and like, okay, we're done. And I was like, yes, thank you. So I bring that up to say that I had learned a lot about myself in just that first guy that I dated, because I was clinging, I was craving, and I needed to let go.
Yes. Oh, that's so beautiful that you could, have that clear breakup, but these are what the relationships they come to teach us.
Yeah.
And And you were talking about, how also you do all of these different things, like the reading, you're about to start the gene code. And I would love to hear more about the gene code because I'm not that familiar with it. But these
Okay.
are all the different tools. There's so many different tools for us to get to know ourselves. And, you know, sometimes if you're doing a lot, it could be confusing. But
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, I think they tend to be very um, congruent, at least in my case. Like with all of the different things, I've had astrology readings, I've had tarot readings, I've had life path readings, I've numerology readings, and they all pretty much said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar things, I should say, not the exact same thing, but very similar. So, and a lot of times it was like for me getting different pieces to the puzzle so that I could be like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Now this even makes more sense. And so these things are important. The self-help books like you were talking about, just reading, like, so there's so many things out there. If you're noticing from your patterns that you don't communicate well, get a communication book, nonviolent communication. There's so many things out there. If you see that you're having issues with sexuality, you can buy books on that. Speaking of books, I just launched my Sacred Goddess Awakening journal. It's an ebook as well as a paperback, and it's filled with many different affirmations, exercises so that you can do, so that you can feel empowered, that you can, and you could kind of realize what's happening, and then you could journal. So there's different prompts that you can do or read, and then journal about to get to know yourself better and really understand what's going on with yourself and work on that. So it is available on Amazon, and I will type it in the chat, the Sacred Goddess Awakening Journal. And so tell us, Missy, tell us a little bit about the gene code because I want to be able to understand that a little bit more.
Okay, so Gene Keys is based on a lot of different, like you said, platforms, philosophies. So it does take into account some human design, some astrology. I'm not sure if it includes the Mayan astrology as well, but like the I Ching, it brings in all these different concepts. So yes, as I read it, I can see how it totally like matched my human design. And my human design, when I had that reading done, I could see, oh, that how that matches my sun sign. Like I could find those things in there as well. But Gene Keys goes a little bit different. So there's 64 Gene Keys, and they have different programming partners, and they all represent different lessons. And what's really cool, if you look at each Gene Key, it breaks down into 3 parts. There's the shadow aspect, which is really helpful because that takes you right to the problem. You're like, oh, that's why I'm having trouble in relationships. That's why I can't, I don't know, express myself, It shows you your shadow. Then it shows you the gift, which is like, well, in this Gene Key, there's still a good side to it, right? Because there's equal advantages and disadvantages in everything, right? Every choice, every aspect of anything, you can find it, right? So then it's got the gift that shows you, oh, okay, there's hope for me. I can express my highest part. And then the city, which is the highest expression of basically your divine self. And so that's when you're living in your truest element, your highest element. And I believe we can all get there through the work, right? Shedding the layers, you release, you renew, and then you rise, and you really rise up into that picture that, the universe has for you, that perfect design. Is where you get to express that. So I love it because I'm learning so much of the Gene Keys, and I had my profile printed out. My partner's into it way more than I am. He's got the workbooks, and he's reading all the things, and I'm like, so I'm learning as he goes along too. But it's so interesting, really eye-opening.
Yeah, there's so many tools out there. Like there's just so much out there. Even a Mayan reading, I had a Mayan reading done before too.
Yeah.
That was great. I loved it. I had that done when I was in Colombia.
What are you?
Huh?
Do you remember what you are, the name?
I don't remember. I know I was a blue electric something snake. No, I don't know if it's snake, but blue electric something.
I was a white electric wizard.
Wizard?
That's cool that we're both electric. White wizard. Yeah.
Blue electric. Yeah.
Cool.
And it might be snake, but I don't know. But it was interesting. So interesting. When I was in Colombia, I was with a guy that I had met in Amsterdam. Well, he's from Amsterdam, or he's from Netherlands.
Mm.
We had met in Peru. And so anyway, we traveled together. We were in Colombia, and this lady did my mind reading and his mind reading. And it was so interesting because the thing, like, we were just like, we had the same things but in the opposite place. So it was like the things that I was supposed to work on was his, and the thing that he's supposed to work on was my thing. And she was like, the lady who did the reading, because she did both of us, she was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. The two of you are together because you're supposed to be working on stuff and learning from each other. And it was so true, because our relationship was just so difficult. It was so hard. So
Yeah.
hard. And this is the thing that I realize right now, today. Um, um, so this, with the numerology reading, the lady who did it with me, she gave 3 numbers, right? Your life path number, which is what most people know, right? I've always known my life path number. I'm a number 5. And then she gave me expression number, which shows how you express. So it's almost like the almost like the astrology, where you get the sun, the moon, and the rising. So it's like those things, right?
Yeah.
But you get your life path number, your how you express yourself, which I guess would be like the moon, and then your karmic lesson. So my karmic lesson number is my latest partner's life path number. And I'm like, that makes so much sense, because he knows all of my triggers, obviously not on purpose, but he just like pushes all of those trigger buttons, all of them. And I'm just like, and it's just like, so it's so funny how the universe does bring these people into you, and you attract these people until you do that work.
Yes, yes. And I love that you said, because it's an opportunity for growth. And my minister used to speak on this all the time. He called it an AFGO, right? AFGO, another fine opportunity. No, another fine growth opportunity. So when that stuff comes up, you can, just like, all right, universe, I'm ready for it. Give me the lesson, because I'm ready for the blessing. Is like, I'll do the work. I'll go there. And so when that stuff comes up, we get to look at it and choose. You can choose to heal, or you could choose to run, and I was a runner back in the day. And so, that was another pattern that I changed, especially seeing it come up even in this amazing partnership that I'm in. When it gets difficult or I have to speak my truth, I'm like, and so I really get to learn to stand in my truth and speak what I want. And this is what I need, my needs, right? Being vulnerable, all that stuff was so hard for me to do, but it's so powerful to be able to do that with someone who can hold space and witness you in whatever way you're demonstrating.
Yes. So, so I remember what I was going to say now, as you said that. It's so important that once that we see in this way, everything that happens is a blessing, right? It's a lesson. It's an opportunity. It's a growth opportunity, right? And so when we see it that way, we're able to forgive, right? And we're able to, it helps us to not be so angry, because it's easy to get angry and, be pissed off with this person. But then when you see it as a lesson, it's like, I am so thankful. I'm thankful that you were in my life, so I can do this work that needs to be done, so that I can step up to the next level, so I could step up to receive all of my blessings, and not be blocked.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a process. And so if anybody's watching who has, just gone through a breakup or something hard, like, I get it. It wasn't because it was so easy for me to accept and forgive and heal. No, I cried like a crazy. It took me a while, but that's also a time where I learned to process my emotions. I was like, I am not hiding my emotions. I was like, I am going to heal. I wanted to heal. And peace has always been my number one goal in anything that I do since my mom passed away, because that was the lesson that I got from her passing, was take care of your health and wellness. And that includes mental and stress levels. And so peace is the opposite of stress for me. So instead of focusing on not stressing, I want to focus on peace, right? So when something comes up, even though it's awful or someone makes me mad, I go straight to the healing because it's not worth my stress. I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to see you for who you are, decide if I want to stay in this relationship. And it doesn't have to be romantic, any partnership, everything's relationship. Yeah. So if it just doesn't align, and you rub me the wrong way, peace out. Like I don't need to stress myself out.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like, we stress ourselves out. And like you said, we can have a choice. We can choose to be happy. We can choose to be stressed. We could choose to stay and deal and understand and learn and grow, or we could choose to run. We could choose to fight. So every day it's a choice that we're making. In every situation, it's a choice that we're making. And so it's important for us to be able to just, before we react, and that was one of the other things that I learned about myself. I'm very reactive. Mm-hmm. I know that. I react quick. I'm quick, right? I feel and, and Sean told me that life path reading, you got to get your emotions under control. And I know I feel something, and then I'm like, I'm moving quick. And this latest, he's real slow. So, and I would always say, you're in my life to also teach me to go slow. And I'm here to teach you to go faster. So he would just be so slow at everything. And I would just get so frustrated. I'm just like, even just eating, I'd be done in like 2 minutes, I swear. And then like 30 minutes later, he's still eating. And I'm just like, do I have to sit at this table, continue waiting for him to finish eating? Or can I get up? But then I feel rude. Because I'm like, I don't want to be rude. I'm just sitting there, but we're talking still. And I'm just like, okay, because again, I got the movement, right? I got to move. I can't just sit. I got to move. So I'm like, I'm done eating. I'm ready to go do something else. I'm just chilling. I don't need to do nothing else. I'm okay. And I'm just like, So, but anyway, so everything is a choice. Everything is a choice in life, right? And everybody's doing the best that they can with what they have. And we're constantly, just doing the best that we can. And we're growing.
Yeah. And you get to choose to do better or to stay the same way you are. And so I love how you said, I'd rather be moving. This guy's slower. There's places in my partnership where we're totally different in different areas. And so you get to choose. Is there something that I can do here to, cohabitate with this person in a friendlier way, in a better way, without changing who I am, what I believe, still honoring my truth, but can I just kind of adjust the sails a little bit so we can sail together, so yeah, it's all choice.
It is all choice. And that empowers us as well. If you know that everything is a choice and we're making choices in life. So, Missy, I want to share your information. Let the people know if you have anything coming up. Also, it all kind of blurred together. Let me see if I could redo this. But blurred together. So your IG and all of this.
Thank you. Yes.
Let us know if you got anything coming up, any workshops, any classes, anything.
Yeah, I should have grabbed the URL for the challenge that my friend is hosting, Erica Briones. She would be someone you would probably love to talk to as well. She's into Tantra as well. And it's a 5-day embodied voice challenge. So there's a couple teachers on there, and we are focusing on, again, just using your voice to stand in your truth, stand in your power. I'm going to be offering chakra breathing techniques, prayer, visioning, all the tools, because I use all of those. Whenever I have to perform, I got to come show up and speak. There's certain methods and tools that I use where I'm like, okay, no matter how nervous I am, I can do these things and then step in and then show up. And it's very helpful. So it's called Embodied Voice. You can find it on my Instagram. So just go to Coach Missy Moreno. The link will be in the bio soon. because I switched it out for this event. But I'll change the bio back to the Embodied Voice Challenge. 5 days. It's free. It'll be fun, and there's a talent show too.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds like so much fun. So much fun. I'm definitely interested in doing that. Definitely interested. So you can reach her at Coach Missy Moreno. Um, that's awesome. I did the dance challenge with you that you did last time, and
Yes,
that
you
was so much fun. That was so much fun. And your website is www.themissymoreno.com. So follow her. Guys, if anyone here has any last minute questions or comments about anything that we talked about, if you had any questions about any of the stuff that we said, um, we're going to be ending soon. And I know that I'm doing the live a little bit earlier now. I am now teaching. I teach a Tantra certification course, which was on Thursdays, but I had to change it to Wednesdays because of another course I'm doing. And so that starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I had to move my lives down to 6 p.m. Standard Time because I'm doing the course at 7 p.m. Standard Time.
Mm.
So I do have to get off a little bit earlier, so it's not the full hour, so I could do this. But yes, let me, let us know. We still got a couple of minutes. If you have any questions, we want to be able to answer you while we're waiting for you. If you have any questions, Missy and I are going to be doing another live on Instagram. So if any of you are on Instagram, follow her. Follow her. Go ahead and pick up your phone and follow her now on Instagram.
Thank
With
you.
technology, it's easy. So just do it. Um, you can also follow me on Instagram at Prandhara Prem _Tantra. I'm mostly on that. And the rest of the stuff I'm not so much on anymore. So you can follow me on Instagram at Prandhara Prem _Tantra and or Missy. So follow both of us. Check us out on Saturday. We're going to be talking a little bit more about this. And then we're going to be doing a workshop for Lightworkers Universe. And the Lightworkers Universe information is in my bio. So you can check that out. There is a 14-day trial period. And then we're going to be talking more about this and giving you some more tips and different things so that you can actually leave away with. If you want to share anything else, Missy?
No, just, it's about you. So choose you, right? And when you choose yourself first, everything starts to align for you. You start to attract higher energy into your life, whether that's a partner, whether that's clients, but choose you, choose your truth, and love yourself more. So the download that I always get when I go to Brazil, I used to go to the spiritual hospital out there. It would say, like, I would be like, what's mine to do? What's mine to know? And it would always be, love yourself more and honor your gifts.
Yes. So you used to go to the John of God?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Abajana.
Okay.
You.
Okay. So yeah, so thank you so much. And it is all about you. If you change the way you see the world, the way the world wait, if you change, see, now be missing these, I'm messing these things up today. If you
When you
change
change the way you look at the world changes.
changes. Exactly.
The things you look at change. I know which one it is. That's Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer has
Yeah,
a quote.
so something like that. Right? And so really everything is a reflection. It's like us looking in a mirror, right? So the more that we do the work on ourselves, the more everything around us changes. The more and it really is like we see the things in people that's in us, right? So the more negative things you see, the critical stuff, the judging or whatever, is because it's still in the inside of you that you need to change. And when you work on that and you're happy and you're loving, you see the lovingness and the happiness in others. And that's why something that one person does will trigger you, it won't trigger someone else, right? There's a reason. So so that's it. So thank you so much, Missy, for coming on. This is great. And again, guys, go to her website, www.themissymoreno.com, or follow her on Instagram at Coach Missy Moreno. So thank you again. Thank you guys who were on watching this. and those of you who will come on and watch the replay. All right. Love you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.